Over the course of my career, I've amassed, along with some colleagues, the world's largest database on presidential and prime ministerial approval. And it's called the Executive Approval Database.
Dr. Carlin, I had worked with him throughout Latin American politics, and he had always been very enthusiastic towards kind of encouraging undergraduate research.
This is just a way to extend that work and bring students into a lab in which they can learn new skills. They're interested in politics. They don't necessarily know how to make a career out of it.
Worked for him for 2.5 years before he started Pollitik, and I just kind of shifted straight into continuing data collection and taking on more of a leadership role.
My professor just put me in Professor Carlin's lab, and it actually turned out pretty great.
They offered us a list of different projects we could do. There were a lot of options, but for me, well, I'm no politics major, but I do think it is interesting.
And brought us all on board, and I was eager to join.
My graduate students and my advanced undergraduates are actually they're leading different teams. So one person has a social media team. One person is going to take a project on this article, and they're going to kind of be the point person.
So we do have people that are just naturally leaders. Then we'll break it down, and each person will take up a task, and we'll put it all together in a graph or an article or a paragraph essay, stuff like that.
We are people working together, not freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and graduates working together.
Like, for instance, Brendan Mercado has been working on gathering data for Colombia in conjunction with Diego. And then myself and Kelsey Quick have been working on gathering data for Canada and France. So we have a lot of things going on at once.
It's definitely a different type of class, a different type of work environment where Dr. Carlin really encourages original and authentic ideas from the students. A lot of these students who are first years coming in, he wants to know what are your basic questions and how can we, make those questions appeal to a broader audience.
My students know more about social media than I do, and they in fact laid out a social media strategy that says we need to write stuff, get it published, and drive traffic back to our website and to our Twitter feeds so that we get a following.
We came up with a name. Okay, what does Pollitik do? And then we came up with a cause. Okay, how are we going to show this? And then we built a website. And then we built a Twitter. And then we're following other data aggregators and publishing stuff. And then we write an article. And then that article is featured in a big journal.
Yeah, earlier this year, we had our COVID-19 series featured in the Washington Post.
So to get it published was really huge. It was definitely something that I'm proud of. I'm proud of us as a group.
It was sort of that wake up moment, honestly. It's wait, we actually are doing something here.
You're trying to get them to buy into something. You're trying to say, hey, we need to work at this. And I promise you, if we work at it, we'll get published in a place that everybody's heard of. And so it was a group effort, but I felt like we had to have it in order to get buy-in from the students. And they are very different from each other, and they bring different strengths to the project, and they keep it going. And I knew that the first year students would identify in one way or another with them and follow them. And they'd bond in ways that I couldn't necessarily foresee, but I figured that was inevitable because they're great people, they're smart people, they're creative, they're funny.
I am actually using a lot of the research we're doing now, building towards my own thesis.
What I really enjoyed about this is that it feels tangible.
And sometimes it makes it almost hard because you have a lot of people that want to do a lot of things. So it's kind of a matter of what do we do next?